What is up, everybody? Smashy here with another episode of Deep Rock Galactic Survivor. If you had seen on the last episode, you tragically saw our fate as we unfortunately did not complete the run. Um, that did end our streak. I think we had 5 or 6 episodes or runs where we just were able to complete the dive altogether, but we did not do it on our last one. We upped it to Hazard 2, and we did not have the fancy footwork in order to get ourselves out of those situations. So, with that, I kind of got my brain thinking. I thought it might be fun, since we did unlock another dwarf with the gunner, that we could try to see how long we could go with the gunner before um, before we have another mission failed. So that's kind of going to be my trajectory moving forward. We're just going to try and have one life per dwarf. And so that'll give us 4 shots, and we'll see how far we can make it with that. That way, we don't have to stop the series or anything, but can kind of have that extra layer of complexity, or makes it a little bit harder. And it's also just kind of fun just to be able to showcase the different things. So with that one, I'm going to be doing the gunner for our next upcoming mission. So when we go over our gear and our upgrades, we're definitely going to have the gunner in mind. So with that, I'll just go ahead and start off there. So we got some new stuff coming in. Looks like we haven't equipped anything for the gunner. I was going to say it looked like. Oh, we also got the engineer as well, but we'll just work on the gunner. So this one, we could have a slight increase to armor and pickup radius, but we would be losing damage and reload speed. So now we don't need that. Go ahead and sell all of those. Alright, looking at upgrades. So let's see. Any big ones that we see that we really just need to prioritize first? No, nothing really. I guess critical strike chance, critical damage, those are kind of a little bit more conditional. They do help, but I think I would rather just have the Nitra starting off. For this one, we got mining speed or fire rate. So I'm going to go ahead with fire rate. As mining speed, I technically put under a quality of life improvement, so it kind of takes the less priority there. And we'll go ahead and get the status effect upgrade now without anything else kind of on the table. So with that, we are going to go back to our main missions. This is where we failed last time, so I think we're going to go back one step. We are going to try to collect 20 red sugar. That way we'll be able to complete this, but it gives us kind of a warm-up round for our gunner. So, the gunner. Who is he and what is he all about? So the gunner is who needs fancy tricks like speed or gadgetry when you could just apply a stupendous amount of heavy firepower to any problem. That's what the gunner is all about. So he's got a max HP of 160. He's got 10 armor. His critical strike chance is 5%, and critical strike damage is 150%. So we'll go ahead and take him. We only have one class unlocked, which is the weapon specialist. So for every 100 projectiles, you shoot out 8 high-powered projectiles in all directions. Okay, so with this one, I guess we're going to really be looking for ones that fire a lot of ammunition quickly. So just keep that in mind, that the more ammunition we shoot, the more we'll have that projectile firing in all directions. So pretty cool with that. Leadstorm, it's a powered minigun, shoots a hail of bullets in the direction you are facing. So this one, a little bit different from our last build, from the Scout, which auto-targeted like the closest person or the one with the highest HP. This one will always just shoot in the direction that we're facing, so we have to run towards enemies. It's a little bit more tricky like that, but we'll do that. Alright, so this one, we are just trying to collect our 20 red sugar and go ahead and complete the run, because that is another one of our stipulations. So let's take a little bit of damage here. Go ahead and collect some of that. We'll take a damage. We'll collect that. We'll take a damage, and we'll collect that. So there's 3 right off the bat. We walked out of the drop pod, and here we are. So for this one, it is like they do have a lot slower movement speed and mining rate. So killing enemies to get experience off the bat is probably the most efficient way, but we'll see what happens. So we got our first level up, and it's nothing really to write home about. So we got 2% movement speed increase, 15 max HP, and 10% critical strike damage. So with this one, it's with it being only hazard 1, we really don't take too much damage. So I'm not really worried about it um, like losing life too quickly, though I will say that it is a nice bonus to have. But we're going to go ahead with that 2% movement speed increase just because that is one of the weaknesses of the gunner is they don't move too quick. That and they have to look at the guys they're shooting, which they do shoot very quickly, but you kind of have to do a little bit more micromanaging or timing where it's like, okay, well, I'd rather move while I'm not shooting, so if you have to move in a certain direction that you can't shoot everybody, try to time it in a way that is in alignment with your reload, because the gun itself does have a significant reload time. Yeah, it's got 5.78 seconds, so a little bit less than 6 seconds. We will get that down eventually by the end of the run, but at least in these first couple stages. So we leveled up, and we have an upgrade to our gun. Actually, what's the name of this gun? Leadstorm. Okay, so I'm just going to call it the Leadstorm or the minigun moving forward. So we got 10% reload speed, so we can definitely reduce that right now. 10% damage and 10% fire rate. So I think because they're all kind of minor right now, but I think just going with the damage in the beginning is just always a safe pick. It just always grows on itself there. So we leveled up again. We got 10% critical strike damage, which we're not prioritizing right now. A 15 increase to max HP or 15% reload speed for the minigun. We'll take the increased speed or reload speed to the minigun. Alright, going around collecting flowers in the middle of a volcano. Seems like a pretty good day. Alright, we got our first level, our first weapon for the new build, and it looks like we have 2 familiar weapons, which is the jerry-rigged boomstick and the M1000 Classic. So these ones are good. The other one that we have here is this incendiary grenade. So that one's pretty good. It deals fire damage, sets the ground on fire. It doesn't really share any types with the other weapons, as this one is a heavy kinetic spray and projectile. So with that, looks like we could take this one. It has kinetic spray and projectile. This one has kinetic and projectile, so only 2. This one doesn't really have anything, but it is a pretty powerful weapon, and it's a build that we haven't really done before. So, oh wait, you know what? I was going to take this, and if we were trying to do something a little bit more experimental, we would do that, but for this one, I think we are better off taking the jerry-rigged boomstick, and the reason is because this one shoots off a significant more amount of projectile bullets, and with our class, we're going to try and take advantage of that because every 100 shots we fire one in the opposite direction, so this one also counts towards that, so pretty cool. Alright, so big gold vein here, just pretty happy just camping out for a little bit to try and collect some of that gold. We'll make our way towards that supply drop shortly once we finish clearing this out. Pick up some flowers along the way, and yeah. So it looks like we got a level up. So interesting choice here because we have the choice between 10% damage with all projectiles, which is both our minigun and our shotgun, 3% critical strike chance increase, and a 35% damage increase to our to our minigun. We're going to go ahead and take that 35% to the minigun. We're really trying to showcase how good this one can be. Increasing the damage is universally good with all weapons because turns out, well, at least with most weapons, they are trying to deal more damage. So, supply pod. This is an interesting one. We had the jet poots last time, and I did not enjoy it. I thought the animation was cool, but as far as it just like a surprising jump out of nowhere, it kind of disrupted my flow. I didn't really enjoy doing it. I didn't feel like it got me out of too many situations either. Um, though I will say that it might be a little bit better with this build because something that the gunner lacks is that mobility. We don't have any rerolls or anything here, so let's go ahead and all right. So we have the choice between 3 levels now, which at level 6 is really not anything to write home about. I'm gonna, oh my goodness. So, or I could just take the XP scanner. So whenever I mine any rock, I have a chance of finding XP. To be honest, it's a little bit boring. So I guess for the sake of excitement, I'm gonna take the boots, but it's most likely not a good idea. So we'll how many times it procs and how many times we think it actually saved us or if it really just disrupted us. There's one. Okay. Right off the bat. Alright, let's make that thing explode. That didn't do it. Oh boy. Oh god, they're coming in on us. They're closing in. Okay. So we leveled up again. We got a reload speed to our minigun or 15% damage to our shotgun. I think we are, and then also 10% to all projectile. So these are more worth it later in the game once you have all of your guns unlocked. In the beginning, I think it is just a straight shot to try to get one gun up to level 18. I think that's a valid strategy, and I think it's what we're going to take for this run because when we're just trying to showcase that main weapon, this one does have a really long reload speed, so decreasing it will generally just benefit us in the long run. So it already has a pretty good fire rate. Alright, we leveled up again. We got 5% critical strike damage, 5% damage across all your weapons, or a 15% reload speed increase to the minigun with an overclock. We're going to go ahead and take that one. Alright, so interesting enough, we have the ability to have pan-fried shells, which is change the damage type to fire, or we can increase the clip size and um, I guess give it a slightly longer reload speed. So this one, I think I'm going to take the increased clip size and decrease the reload speed. I'm just going to see how that plays out. I don't know. Most of the time it's like, okay, well, if you could just add damage, that's fantastic. We leveled up again. We got extra padding for 6 extra armor. We got a 15% pickup radius, or we have a epic paint job on our shotgun, which I'm a big fan of the paint jobs, especially at the epic level. Just being able to get those 3 pips towards any gun is usually pretty good. It brings you a lot closer to your overclocks. The only time it's really not good, and it's 100% not good, once your gun is already at level 18. Okay, so we leveled up again. We have a 10% fire rate to all projectile weapons, which is all of them, and then, or we 10% fire rate, 10% damage with projectile weapons as well, or a HP increase of 30. So we're going to go ahead and take the damage. Not that we're really struggling with damage. We're going to be able to kill this guy no problem. We could actually just kill him and get the legendary loot. Oop! And I'm just going to stand right in the way of the bubbles. That's how that works. Cool. So, loot crate at legendary rarity, we got a lot of good options. So, we got the Nitra, which would just be a straight 45 increased on Nitra. We haven't really upgraded all the shop stuff, so it would probably be like 2 2 upgrades there if we took that nitra, or we could take 40% fire rate to all of our projectile weapons, which is a huge increase. Though I will say that the fire rate on the boomstick is already pretty good, so we really don't need to worry about that too much. It would really only be affecting this one. So yeah, so this one has a fire rate of 20 seconds. Or we could just straight up increase the damage to our minigun, which I think we're going to take because we're still on that goal of trying to get it to level 18. And this is fantastic. This is a really, really great first run. We're just hitting lots of legendary stuff, which is pretty uncommon. But we leveled up again, and we got a 10% fire rate to our shotgun and a 50% fire rate increase to our minigun, or last but certainly least, a 3% critical strike chance to all of our weapons. We're going to just take the legendary upgrade here. So who doesn't love that? Looks like we are well on our way to powering up our minigun. Alright, leveled up again. 15% fire rate increase to the minigun, 15% damage to our shotgun, or 15% reload speed to our minigun. So actually, let me check. So our fire rate is increased. So let me see. So we do 30.89 a second, and our reload speed is 4.43. So, oh, I see. So as the fire rate increases, that's what that does. Okay. So with that, let's go ahead and let's just take the reload speed because we already had pretty good upgrades to that, and we just need to be able to do that. We got super lucky just having a flower right in front of the exit, but we're not going to play around. There's lots of kind of stuff still on the table, but this guy really doesn't have the ability to get resources as quickly as the other ones. Most of his XP is going to come from most of his XP is going to come from killing mobs. So interesting. So we got 10% projectile damage, so that's pretty good. 9% crit chance, not really good, but not really what we're doing. 10% luck, or plus 10 luck, not 10%, which is really great, but I don't think that's what we need right now in the game. We are going to, or we got a paint job for our shotgun, increasing it by 2. If we take this one, it does unlock an overclock, which we will most likely take that one, and then we have another 15% damage increase to our minigun. So let's go ahead and take the shotgun first. So the overclock that we unlocked is we can change the damage type to cold, or we can increase the clip size and increase the reload speed. Very similar to what we did with our other gun, but I think for this one we're just going to take the crowd control, changing the damage type to cold. We're going to go ahead and take the increased projectile damage as well, and then we'll reload everything. So there's another, we re-rolled, and there's another 15% increase all projectile damage, which is pretty good. We're going to go ahead and take that one for 35 gold. Nothing else that we can really buy except for our critical strike chance, which we're not really interested in that. But we do have the ability to pin something. So with that, we're going to go ahead and pin the paint job for the minigun. And we'll also pin that uncommon fire rate for the minigun as well. That way we can for sure go back to it. Wow, another legendary. So we're going to go ahead and we're just going to pin everything that we have here. All of these are really great. So this is a huge, this is a huge investment for Nitra, essentially. We like everything that's here, and we want to keep increasing it, but we're going to have to heavily focus on getting Nitra on this next round. Alright, and so we get off the drop pod. We got a door prize of two gold veins, just right off the bat. Pretty nice way to start. Clear them out. We don't really need any red sugar. Oh my goodness, we are supposed to be getting red sugar. I totally forgot about why we were here. How many do I have? 3. So that first one I collected. Fantastic. Okay, so let's do this. Let's go ahead and we leveled up. We're just gonna increase our fire rate to our minigun. Didn't want to read through all of them because I think I've just been a little bit too on focused on building my weapon rather than remembering why I'm here. Alright, so that brought me up to 6. So let's continue to 1. Search for nitra, search for red sugar, search for mushrooms, do all the stuff, but try to explain what I'm doing as I'm doing it. It's surprisingly a little bit more difficult, but I guess that makes sense. As you are adding more tasks to the job, they become increasingly complex. Who would have thought? I certainly would not have. There you go. Pushing back a little bit. I don't know if that. We're good. We're good. Are we gonna get hit? Oh, well, see, reload speed. All right. Alright, that's fine. Another swarm, we don't care. Look, we could just look at them and they die. That's what we're doing. Alright, so we leveled up. We got 25% fire rate for the shotgun, which I'm not a big fan of. 10% damage for all projectiles, or 15% for our minigun. We're going to take the 15% damage for the minigun. Alright, now we're reloading. We're just dancing around, and we turn around and look back. Alright, so what do we have? We have 3 new weapons to choose from. We have the Bulldog, which is a heavy revolver. It's a precise weapon, so it targets the closest enemy. Then we have the Stabby, which shoots essentially electric bullets, but it's kind of like a minigun, or a what are those things called? I forget. Or we have the Nuke 17, which this one shares the most types with our other weapons, so we're just going to go ahead and take that. It's going to be nice. It's going to help us trigger our class ability a whole lot more because it just fires a whole bunch. Alright, so we leveled up, and we have 3 choices. We have fast little legs, so we got 4% movement speed, or 10% projectile damage, or we have Titan Springs, which is a 10% fire rate increase to our Nuke 17. Let's go ahead and take the movement speed here. I think we're pretty okay with our damage, but pretty slow with our movement speed. Cool, cool. We leveled up again. We got 10% reload speed to our minigun, also unlocking a overclock, so we're going to go ahead and take that. We could go ahead and take the fire damage now. I was kind of holding off to see if we could try to keep all of our weapon types the same, but if everybody is kind of taking that, we already changed our shotgun to cold, so we're going to go ahead and take this one, see if we can have an increase in damage with the fire ticks. So I'm not quite sure exactly about all the stat changes for how that works. Oh man, so I have to literally go get hurt, walk back, pick up the red sugar. Doesn't even increase my max HP. What a ripoff. Alright, leveled up again, and we are going to just continue the course of trying to get our minigun up to level 18, so we're going to ignore the other 2, though I will say that fast little legs, we did prioritize it last time, but I'm not going to take it over another pip for the minigun. Alright, so how many? We're at 12 for our red sugar. So I think we'll still be able to salvage this run. So even though I did kind of get a little bit distracted there in the beginning, that's fine. We'll just take this guy's legendary loot. We don't care. Whoa. Does that count as a time that it got us out of damage or got us out of range? I don't know. Alright, so what do we want here? I think we do want the ridiculous amount of nitra because we know what's coming in our shop. Alright, all these things, I'm going to take the reload speed on the minigun, just trying to guarantee that it gets up to Um, guarantee that it gets up to level 18. Interesting. So we got the supply pod, and we have a new epic artifact, which is gold tip bullets. So this is kind of an interesting one that I'm interested to hear other people's feedback on. So it's very good. It's very good at adding damage, just like straight increase there. But if you go all in on it, you essentially cannot spend your gold because like why would you? Because unless the gold is directly increasing your damage, then you're pretty much losing out on damage on the table. So like you're able to do that, but like things like rerolls, like you get less damage there. It does pair pretty nice with another artifact. I don't think we've unlocked it yet. It's called Pay to Win, where it's essentially almost equivalent of like because for every 5 gold you have, you get 1% damage increase. So for 15 or 20. So for this, for each reroll, or I think it's 15 for the weapon rerolls, but you're like losing damage as you reroll. I'm gonna take it here because it's the biggest upside, and even if we don't utilize it, like if we don't build around it, still we're gonna have gold. And the gold is gonna increase our damage. So it's also kind of nice that whenever you are mining for gold, you do just kind of see that look at this, it does increase it. So kind of I don't know. It's nice because you can kind of get the damage ahead of time, but that was a pretty short run. We really didn't do much of anything here. So we leveled up. We have an epic rarity, 20% increase to all projectile weapons. So that's all of our weapons. We're gonna take that one because it's just miles ahead of the other ones here. So all right. Okay. So what are we looking for here? So we have 57. So essentially we can go into level 3, um, increasing our damage. I'm pretty sure. So if we go boom, 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 15% damage increase. Yeah, let's do that.
Just the upgrade I was looking for.
Yeah, we'll take the damage increase. Okay. Lead Storm. So we got lead wrapped ammo in case it wasn't, leady enough. So that's 100% damage increase. So that's a huge increase there. Minus 20% fire rate and 20% reload speed. So it does set us back a bit, but also those things are already ridiculously high. So probably not that bad, but the damage is going to go up significantly. So take a little um, take a little note here. So our damage is at 92, fire rate at 33, almost 34, and then reload time is at 3.4. The other one is the favorite, which this one wouldn't be unreasonable right now. So it's 100% damage, 100% fire rate, and then all other weapons get 30% damage decrease and 30% fire rate decrease. I do not like making all my other weapons not as good, so I'm going to go ahead and take this one. I'm going to save my gold because it just directly increases my uh, directly increases my damage output. Oh yeah, we wanted to see how much this increased. So holy crap! So it was at 92 before, now it's at 229, so more than doubled. I guess it would be 150. Um, Piercing is that. Fire rate did go down a little bit. Reload speed time is not didn't take a huge hit, so that's pretty nice there. But we'll see how that goes. All right. So what are we looking for in this run? We're just trying to get some gold. I don't know if we're gonna be able to collect all the mushrooms, but we'll pick them up as we go. There is some red sugar here, so we'll try to collect those. You gotta go in and take a little bit of damage. So what's nice about this map is you literally have damage like right there. Like, oh, I could just walk in and do it. Like, I couldn't even try to get hit by one of these bugs if I wanted to, but the fact that I can just do this to pick up some red sugar is pretty good. little bit time consuming, but because we have a mission goal to do it, it makes it a little bit more worth it. All right, we're pretty close, aren't we? Yeah. So each one has 3, so that's kind of where we're at. All right, we're just gonna stand here. These guys don't stand a chance. All right, so we got that one up to 18. Some nitro over here in the corner, so that's a nice little bonus. The drops, resupply drop is coming really soon, so ideally we're not hanging out in a corner. Oh boy. I'm really glad that we picked up some piercing right there. Alright, so this one is kind of interesting. So we have a level up, and we have 20% fire rate to all projectiles, 3% critical strike chance increase, or 10% damage increase to our projectiles. Let's go ahead and take the 10% increase to damage. It's just it's just one of those things. The more you build it, the better it gets. And if we could stay focused on that way. Very cool. So we leveled up again. We got 3% reload speed, 2% movement speed, or 25% piercing for our shotgun. We're going to take the piercing for the shotgun, as it does have that cold attribute to it. So it's our crowd control. The more that we can increase that, the higher chance of it freezing enemies and higher chance of us surviving. So we leveled up, and it is not a very exciting pick here. So we got fast hands, we got reload speed increased by 3%, 2% movement speed increase, or a 10% reload speed for the minigun. Because the minigun's our main weapon, let's just go all in. Let's just see how powerful we can make it. Decreasing, like, the reload speed is definitely one of the weakest attributes of the minigun, so we are going to try to exploit that and try to minimize that as much as we can. Oh boy, nothing too good. Oh wait, we did change our minigun to fire damage, so okay, so before I go and say, oh look, these are all garbage, so we got a burn shield belt, which is our first one. So this is a 15% increase to fire damage. And then if we are dealt damage, it explodes in a ring of fire that damages and burns nearby enemies whenever I take damage. So let's go ahead and take that one. Um, the other ones we have in the pack here are the vitamins and the frozen belts. We already did the frozen belt. The frozen belt actually did get us out of a whole lot of trouble last time, so hopefully this is the right pick here, but I still like doing that. So this one, we have a interesting pick. We got 10% fire rate on the minigun, 5% critical strike damage, or a 10% increase to all projectiles. We're going to go ahead and take that 10% increased damage to all projectiles, because it also does affect our minigun. Alright, and we are picking up our last weapon here. Just doing a quick scan over them to see which ones have the most similarity. It looks like the Stubby has the most similarity between them, but I do not really like this weapon. But I'm going to take it because it's something different. Alright, there we go. I don't want to do the same thing every single time. Switch it up, and we'll take note if it's good or not, but it's so this is a tough one. So we leveled up again, and we have add punch, which is our adding 25% piercing to our minigun. So let me just check real quick. Our piercing is at 5, so I want to see how much that increases it. And then the other one would be, we already have enough damage going on, so I don't think that we need to increase that one this much. But I think noting how much the piercing goes up is pretty cool, because I have not really been keeping track of that. Burn is 8. Okay, that's kind of cool too. Alright, let's see. Yeah, so piercing going up by 25%, just straight piercing is now at 6. Alright, let's see how that pans out. But we do a lot of damage. So this one, we leveled up, but it's really kind of inconsequential. We got a potency increase to our... what is this gun even called? Stubby. Well, at least it's got a cute little name that is easy to say. So our stubby, we got a 25% piercing increase to our stubby, or we got a 10% fire rate to our shotgun. Let's go ahead with the potency on the stubby. That's the one shooting out electric bullets. Who doesn't like that? Shooting electric bullets? That sounds so cool. I wish it did more damage. Oh, look at this. Oh, we're mowing him down. Dude, he's dropping gold everywhere. Get back here. So, one thing that's pretty cool about the gunner is I feel like most classes struggle to down the hoarders, but this guy had absolutely no problem doing it. His damage is very, very good. So the loot crate is a 20% damage to all projectiles, which is 100% of our weapons. 30% fire rate increase to all of our projectiles, which is 100% of all of our weapons, or a 15% mining speed increase. Um, I know it's gonna be weird. Yeah, let's just take the damage increase. Which it's just a safe bet. All right, leveled up again. We're gonna take another 15% damage on our minigun. It's already at a ridiculous amount of damage, so why not just keep this train rolling? Die when we're reloading. It's gonna be great. Um, so let's go ahead, try to get whatever it is we left on the table over here. A little bit more nitra. Nice. All right. Look at that. I guess what's kind of nice about this one is if we don't want to kill the boss right away, we don't have to. We can keep exploring because our main gun only shoots forward. Oh, look, let's just do another legendary increase to our minigun, which is already ridiculously powerful. But we only have so many levels to, we only have, oh, dang it, we killed him. I was looking for red sugar. Alright, so we can double back, we can grab that epic loot. Give me that loot. Potency, gold. So gold is a straight up damage increase. So that's so what is it? Every 5. So that's just. I guess that's not that good. 10% damage increase across the board. I mean, it's not bad. Oh, if I could. Oh my goodness. I am. If I die, I'm sorry, everyone. I should not have done this. Oh god. And that's what greed is like. And that is absolutely what greed is like. Well, I guess we have to do the engineer now. Okay, see you in the next one. Oh, wait. Okay, before I go, let's read our upgrades. Okay. Okay, we got a gear level increase. We're going to need it. We got a new gun. That's cool. Too bad it's probably on a character that we can't use. Alright, go to main menu to manage the new gear. Woo! Look at that. We unlocked all the stuff. But missed our drop pod on stupid, like, level 3. Okay, see you in the next one. Bye!